Today's episode of The Unwritten Rule, fairly straightforward Mizzou segment this week. More bad for men's basketball. We'll touch on softball too, because they're 13-2 and rolling. So gotta find some positives where we can. But yeah, we're gonna recap Arkansas Part 2, Mizzou losing again, staying defeated in SEC play. So we'll talk about that game, what went wrong. And just dive into all of that. It's just Peyton and I this week, by the way, or for today's show. I know we've been like a two-man show, I think, for the last like 2 or 3 shows in segments, but I promise Kenny will be back on Friday and we'll have the full 3-man crew back. But yeah, Peyton and I will talk Arkansas. We'll preview the Florida game. And then we'll do quick hits. We got Ken Sports Shorts. I have the Ken Sports Shorts, Jack's Sports Shorts, if you will, this week. We'll have Dirty Birds of the Week, fraud rankings, and the ratios. Fun show to dive into. At least quick hits will be fun, as it always is. But yeah, not much by way of AD search yet. So we'll just stick to recapping the ugly that is Mizzou men's basketball. But before we do that, quick word from the sponsor, BetOnline. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game betting and contests and all of the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. So head to BetOnline today. Become part of the team. And remember to use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here. Peyton, we have our best beats of the week presented by BetOnline. Kenny does have a bet, so I'll read his. Records wise, I'm at 31-19. You are at 29-22, Peyton, and Kenny is now an even 500 at 25-25 because he just continues. Actually, I'll just start with that because he's not here. Kenny continues to just throw his proverbial money away by betting on Kansas and Kansas State men's basketball. They keep losing. He's done it again. This time he's betting against Kansas State. He's taking West Virginia, who is the worst team in the Big 12, to cover a 10-point spread against the Wildcats. He put a link to the video to a clip from The Dark Knight, where Joker burns all the money. So,
and he goes, "It's not about money. It's about sending a message." Yeah, he's lost his damn mind. Why are you betting on West Virginia not at home? That is the dumbest strategy possible.
Yeah.
This is dumber than just blindly itching your cart to Kansas teams.
A plus 10 spread. Like, this is the time you should bet on the Kansas team. And now he's, I guess, sending a message that
West
he wants to lose.
Virginia is horrible.
Yeah. He wants to lose all his money. It's all right. Well, good luck to that for Kenny. You and I, Peyton, are doing mid-major Mondays. I'll go first. I've got Drexel, the Dragons, plus 2.5 against Delaware, the Blue Hens. Folks, Torvik, our friends at Torvik, they have this line at plus 1.5. So, this is good money. Take the Dragons. They're going to keep things close. They've had some sputters, late on in their season, but they're going to get it done against the Blue Hens. You'd be silly not to bet on this. Also, I was looking at Drexel's roster. They have a guy named Lamar Odom Jr., and I thought for a second it was Lamar Odom Jr. I know. I got so excited.
Nelson Jr. was there. For Delaware?
For Delaware, it would have been. But no, it's Odom. It's not Odom.
Yeah, I know, but still, it would have been fun. Yeah. Knowlton, what did you say? What did you say Delaware's mascot is? Like what their team name is?
Delaware's the Blue Hens, aren't they?
Forgetting the word. The Fighting Blue Hens.
Oh, sorry. Well, they're not going to be doing much fighting when the Dragons come into town and cover that 2.5-point spread. Shout out Mid-Major Monday. What do you have?
Yeah, I'm going back to my roots. Anyone that knows me knows I grew up large part of my childhood in North Carolina. So I'm getting some boys from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina at Campbell, the Fighting Camels. They're taking on the Seahawks of UNCW. I have actually driven around UNCW's campus. It's really cool. It's like 20 minutes from the beach. It's awesome. I'm going with the Seahawks here. They're 8-point. Yeah, they're 8-point. I might have had this wrong, actually. Yeah, I accidentally typed +8. They're 8-point favorites. They're -8.
Oh, okay.
I think they're covering that. I mean, they're underestimating. Like, okay, Torvik, yes, Torvik has this as 8, my handy dandy Torvik. So you can get this whenever. It's not like my normal shtick. But Bowie's Creek is in the same state as Wilmington, man. It's not that bad a road trip. And Campbell, they're 300 in Torvik. They're really missing the worst transfer I've ever seen in my life, Jesus Carolero, who played like 6 games for them last year. But no, in all seriousness, I do think the Seahawks get a win here by 8.
Hey, they beat Kentucky earlier this year, so
yeah, God, they did. Oh my God.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, some specials brewing in Wilmington. They had a tournament upset a couple years back, I want to say.
They almost beat Duke, I think is their claim to fame.
Oh, maybe almost beat Duke. Okay, almost an upset. And Campbell hasn't beaten him. I don't think
Campbell sucks.
Yeah, Campbell's bad. Well, there you go. Peyton's taking a North Carolina in-state rivalry, and I've got the Dragons. Kenny is pissing his money away once again. So thank you to Bet Online for giving us all those lines. Go there to make some bets of your own. With that, let's get the show started. The Unwritten Rule starts right now.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Peyton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Monday, February 26th. Is once again the two-man team, if you skipped the intro. Kenny is out. He is traveling. He is in St. Louis. And so it's Peyton and I for the show. Two-man crew once again. And Peyton, we're doing our same dance. Arkansas 88, Mizzou 73. Let's just dive right into it. The Tigers still defeated in conference play. They are one of, I believe, 5 teams who have not won a conference game at this point. That would have been a good Ken Sports Shorts. That's not Ken Sports Shorts this week. We'll get to that. But Peyton, this game was once again close at times. I have calculated a couple of runs that helped kind of confound the Tigers in this game. It was tied at 50 at one point. Arkansas then went on a 17-6 run in about 5 minutes, and then a 16-8 run to end the game. And Mizzou made Caliph Battle look like Michael Jordan. What were your thoughts from a very dud of a rivalry game in Fayetteville?
Games like this are why I think the criticism of Dennis Gates, while I don't get to the level of outrage people have with him, like saying he needs to be fired this year, I'm not going to go there. I get the criticism. I mean, how do you not eventually just make somebody that's not Battle beat you? Like, there was never any sort of adjustment like on Battle, and that is it really makes me wonder what he's thinking over there on the sidelines. Like, how do you not? You're sitting in that zone. Battle is just hitting the deepest threes ever, and Dennis Gates is just saying, "Oh, he'll miss eventually. It'll probably be by the time we're already out of the game." But he'll miss eventually. And like, Foxen won him, man. Like, he's got 40 points on you. I don't get it. I don't understand that process. Dennis Gates has done this a million times as well. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it mentioned was in an Athletic article about the Kansas-Mizzou game, not this past year, but the year before, in Dennis's first year. It mentioned that Dennis kind of stubbornly just sat in zone the whole game while Kansas just buried them in threes. This was pretty similar to that. They did not adjust to try and take Battle out of the game. He was the only guy beating them. He had like I remember the graphic showed like their leading scorers. It was like Battle had like 35 at one point, and the next highest scorer had 5. Like, make somebody else beat you. Like, he was the only one that had it going. There was no adjustment. I don't even care about anything on the offensive end. So, like, yeah, that was just my main takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah, he finished with 42 points. He shot 6 for 10 from 3. I think you hit it on the nose. There was just no adjustments. Like the way he still had like open shots, or even the contested ones he was taking were, semi-contested at best, is ridiculous. I mean, he set his career high, no duh. At one point, I know the announcers were talking about like high inside Bud Walton Arena, and if Caleb Battle was going to get that. Like it was ridiculous. The adjustments were not made. I totally agree. I think it was Drew King who tweeted that graphic at one point, and it said or tweeted just the box score, and it was, I think, when he was on 33 points, no one else from Arkansas had more than 5. Their next leading scorer was Mekhi Mitchell, who fouled out of the game with 13 points. And if you remember the first iteration of this game this year, Mekhi Mitchell was the one doing all the damage inside when Arkansas had like 60 points in the paint or whatever it was. So it was a different guy hurting you, and just, again, a different way for Mizzou to lose. This time just letting some, I guess whatever decent player, role player, whatever you want to call it, label Khalif Battle as, but just letting a guy torch you and doing nothing about it. It is extremely frustrating to watch. I think you hit the nail on the head. For Mizzou, Sean East had an awesome game. He had 33 points. Oh, by the way, Peyton, did you know Sean East figured out how to shoot based on playing Papa Shot? This is becoming it's becoming a Cody Schrader, not that level of the Cody Schrader Truman State thing, but like I swear, they did like a whole 5-minute segment of him where the broadcaster was like at an arcade. That was the most entertaining part, I think, about Mizzou's night. Other than East, Nick Honor, 14 points. Tamar Bates, another kind of dud of a performance, 11 points, and he fouled out of this game. Shot 2 for 6 from the field, 6 rebounds. He did make all 6 of his free throws. Jordan Butler had, I think, 3 fouls before the 12-minute mark of the first half somehow.
He also had no rebounds.
Yeah, no rebounds. And so I did want to ask you about him too, Peyton, because I know he's someone who you're seeing it in increments, but it disappeared for him today. I guess I'll just force your hand. I mean, same old from Mizzou.
Yeah. Jordan Butler, all that progress just kind of went right out the window, and he's like a underdeveloped freshman, so it's not really a big deal to me. I don't really care about pretty much anyone on this team anymore going forward. I mean, it's just like a totally lost year. There's nothing to really build on here. I wouldn't even say Tamar Bates' season is that much to build on. He's a player that, sure, I want back. I'm not going to cry myself to sleep if he's gone. There's nobody on this team that is really, I just don't come away from any game thinking, that was really encouraging. Yes, I guess sometimes they're in games more. Eventually they'll probably stumble into one. This Saturday against Ole Miss, I kind of think they're going to win that just because, I don't know, they're in too many games to go 0-18 at this point. Even this game, it was a 15-point win. It was not really it was a close game for a lot of the second half. That's about all you can hang your hat on, is that they find ways to keep it close, but they find ways to lose every single time.
Yeah, and it's the different ways. And I think that goes back to the frustration with Dennis, is it's when one hole gets plugged, it's another one opens up. You know what I mean? They didn't let Arkansas totally kill them in the paint like in the first game. They made that adjustment, but then they just let one guy just go crazy and then did nothing to stop. It's just stumbling into defeats, essentially. And yeah, you bring up the Ole Miss game. I agree with you that I think that's the best shot they've got left. The Rebels are 19-8. They've lost 2 in a row. And then they have to play Alabama this week before Mizzou. So you chalk that up to probably 3 in a row. Mizzou right now has a 47% chance to win that game. Before they play that game, they'll play Florida, another team that just totally kills you on the offensive glass, has guys that can score. That's a good team. So, outlook not so good for that game. But yeah, maybe, hold your hat to Ole Miss if you've got anything else just on this game in the future. Hey, Peyton Marshall at least tweeted that he's coming home soon, or he'll be in Como soon, with a photo of Dennis. So another reminder, the future.
Yeah, I guess that's about all we have at this point. There's not really anything to take from this team at this point. None of the freshmen look all that good. There's maybe one player that's not a freshman that you'd want back. And yeah, that's about it. They're not a very good team.
I don't hate your opening up like a larger conversation about Tamar Bates, like in that take, because yeah, in his last 4 games has really not been at the, albeit it was pretty elite scoring numbers he was putting up. Maybe it's kind of a regression to the mean for him, but I do go back and forth a lot with him where one day I'm like, I see this DeAndre Golston-y type player that can create shots from anywhere, can be a 3-level scorer. And then on other times I see a guy who gets the ball, he puts his head down, he chucks up really contested, like close range 2s instead of finding a teammate or turns the ball over. So yeah, it kind of sucks that it's not like, I don't think it feels as solid as like when you had Kobe Brown coming back and you knew that was something. Like he's not an all SEC type player yet, Tamar Bates.
Yeah, I don't like at this point. We're just like it's just kind of going in circles at this point.
Yeah.
Like, there's just not. I can't even like manipulate my brain to just think of a way to be positive going into next year without like a crazy good haul in the portal, maybe. But like we saw it as we've talked about before, they didn't recruit well in the portal when they were winning. Like they instead of Caden Shedrick, they got Jesus Carolero instead of who are some of the other? Instead of Matthew Cleveland, we're sitting here with Connor Vanover, and you can probably flip those two position wise. But the point is, they whiffed way too much when they were winning, and now they are losing, and now they're going to have to try and turn it around in a hurry.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of misses. I mean, yeah, Shedrick, Matthew Cleveland, Jimmy Bell. They wanted Kellel Ware. That was a little bit farther. Caleb Love. Yeah, there was a lot. Hey, Connor Vanover, good revenge game by his standards. He was the only Missouri player who had a positive box plus minus in 16 minutes. He had 2 points and 5 rebounds and 3 fouls. But
I thought he gave them pretty solid minutes. That would probably be the best thing I can say about anyone from this game.
Against his former team. And we had the muscle. Yep. We also had the Musselman troll where he put Trevin Brazil in for 2 seconds and then subbed him out.
Yeah, because he picked up a foul. He had no other stats. Like he's played 4 minutes in 4 games since he left Mizzou. Like in those contests. So, I guess we had that whole like other notable thing from this game was the Gates Musselman.
Oh yeah, at the end.
Thing. Yeah, because like Layden Blocker went for a dunk and instead just wiped out. Then at the other end, Noah Carter for some reason tries like a. Okay, first of all, East is throwing him a lob and he's not in position or just not able to dunk like that. So he has to grab it, like, and for whatever reason, instead of just, I don't know, casually laying it up or just like throwing it down, he like steps back and like kind of just throws it. And I don't know. And then, like, Dennis didn't look happy that Blocker tried that dunk and looked like he said something to Muss about it. Like, he didn't give Ben Sternberg the go-ahead to crow hop 3 against Lindenwood up 30. Which, by the way, I have no issue with that. But you can't get mad at someone else doing it when you do it.
Yeah, that's an unwritten rule. Per this show.
Yeah, there we go.
Good that we brought that up, I guess.
There you go. Kenny will be happy about that.
We got the title in and the movie. They said the title. Yeah, that was weird, but again, just kind of a footnote. It so sucks. Like I wanted football to bleed so seamlessly into basketball to just have like more fun content to dive into. But yeah, it's just the same old story. Tigers will take on Florida at 5:30 on Wednesday. You can watch that on the SEC network. Before we segue to quick hits, I will end on a positive note. I want to do Mizzou softball reports because they are very good. They're 13-2 now. They did just lose 5-4 to Baylor, but only their second loss of the season. Go off, Larissa Anderson. Please give me something to cheer for this summer. They will.
Yeah, I didn't see much of the results. It's too bad they lost a game finally, but
Yeah,
they're
you gotta
way
be
better than
humbled early.
anything else that's going on right now.
Yeah, they'll compete at the Big Red Invitational in Lincoln, Nebraska next. They'll play Wichita State and Nebraska. So.
Is this like the thing where they didn't have like a home game in their first 26 games last year?
Let me check.
It was
Because they
something
have
crazy.
only really played. They have only really played in invitationals or like classics. Let me see. Clearwater, Florida, Denton, Texas. Yep, Yankee Stadium, which is where the Fenway Park, Lincoln, Nebraska. They play their first home game on March 8th against Auburn. They start a series against Auburn. So yeah, no non-con, no home non-con for Mizzou softball. It's kind of smart though, because you can tease it. It's like, oh, they're really good and you can't even see them play. Now they're walking in first home opener with a 17-3 record or whatever it is. I think that's smart. But we'll keep track of them. We'll keep track of the AD search as well. There has not been any news on that front as of now. Oh, Peyton, the last thing I was going to ask you mentioned the portal. Maybe you can find a silver lining for men's basketball. Any players sticking out? Any early portal watch names?
No, I have not kept an eye on that right now. I don't know who's in it. Once they start rolling in, I mean,
yeah,
by all means, we'll go off on it. But
that's going to be your beat. That's going to be your beat for the spring and the
because,
summer.
quite frankly, Mizzou should be getting about 6 or 7 people out of it.
Yeah, agree. Also, for those counting, I'm gonna do a counter because if Mizzou does go 0-18 and doesn't win another game, currently there are 26 teams in the country that have a worse record or have less wins than Mizzou does. 6 of them are on 7, so I'll tick them off as we go. Unless Mizzou can get a 9th win, then I'll have to reshuffle the list. But that's where they're at. Also, by winning percentage, they are the 4th worst Power 6 team.
Yep. And
they won't ever be first.
Every bit of it.
They do. They won't ever be first because DePaul sucks. But yeah, it's bad. All right. On that note, we will segue. Finish the show with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. Kenny is not here, so I will be doing Ken's sports shorts, Jack's sports shorts for today. Although I guess I can't take credit for it because Kenny still did them. I'm just reading what they are, but I won't be participating because I know the answers. But Peyton, talking a lot of Mizzou men's hoops, of course, Tigers. They've had some decent exports to the NBA draft. Kenny wanted to quiz you on some of those exports to the NBA and to the NBA draft. He went pretty specific.
I get Jack's athletic answers instead of
there you go.
Sports shorts.
Instead of Ken's sports shorts. So Kenny sent me a list. Players who were drafted between 2012 and 2014. There are 4 Missouri Tigers who were drafted to the NBA. Can you name them?
Phil Pressey.
No.
2012, 2014.
Well, then Kenny didn't list. Kenny forgot him.
Damn.
If he did. Wait.
I thought Phil Pressey. Phil Pressey might have been right before or right after then. Or maybe he didn't get drafted. Maybe he was UDFA.
I'll fact check you. He was not drafted.
Others.
Phil Pressey was not drafted.
Okay, then Kim English.
Kim English was a 2nd-round pick to the Detroit Pistons in 2012.
Oh,
this will be a fun. I can give you the round and team if you want that.
That won't help me.
Okay.
Barnes. Did Barnes get drafted? No, he definitely
no.
Didn't. 12 through 14. That wasn't Clarkson, was it? Clarkson wasn't there.
Jordan Clarkson was a 2nd-round pick.
Oh wow! I didn't know he was on those teams.
Drafted by the Wizards, traded to the Lakers on draft night.
2012. So I got 2.
You have 2. You need 2
more. You know these 2 names?
I do.
Would I know them?
Yes. I don't think when Kenny texted me these, I said there was one I probably wouldn't have gotten, but one of them, he
Is one of these a big man?
Yes, I think so. I'll look them up. Hold on. Yes, one of them is big.
Oh man, I'm trying to like. I don't know.
Do you want a hint? Do you want a hint for the big man?
Yeah, I'll take a hint. Sure.
This big man.
The round number is not going to help me. The rounded team.
This big man who was taken in the second round by the Sacramento Kings. He was actually drafted by the Suns, traded to the Kings. In the 2013 draft, this big man transferred after winning a national championship at a college. He transferred to Mizzou for his final season.
Really? And this was in 2012, 2014?
He was drafted in 2013, so his last season with Mizzou was
2012, 2013. So who won back then? I mean, that was like... That wasn't
from
I can picture who this person is. But like I can't think of his name. What's his I don't know it. Just it will be here all day.
Yeah, it is Alex Orakai.
Yep, okay. I do know who that is.
Transferred from UConn. Where he won with
UConn.
Shabazz. He was the center, and then he transferred to Mizzou.
That was the garbage year where they played Butler, right?
Yes,
Like,
I think. Yeah, I think that was the bad one.
Yeah, the really terrible game.
And then you have one more. He was a second-round pick to the Spurs in 2012.
A Spurs Mizzou player. Yeah, that's the Drew King, and it's not. I feel bad because I'm like I love the history of Mizzou hoops because these were good ass teams, but I can't think of who this is.
He did not ever play for the Spurs. His career history is all over Europe and China and Greece.
Who is it?
Greece
I don't know. It's not. No, it wouldn't be him. Go ahead.
It is Hogan Prep's own Marcus Denman, Peyton.
Oh my God! That's when I was thinking. That's
one you could have
right. Gotten. Yeah, I should have gotten that one. Oh, why did I say Barnes and not him? I should have gotten Denman. That's a dumb one. I should have gotten Denman. Wow,
I told Kenny the only one I didn't think I would have gotten was Orakai. I might have forgot Denman, but I would have got Kimmy and Jordan Clarkson. But there you go.
I am surprised Phil Pressey was not drafted. Like bullshit second rounder. Surprising to me.
Yeah, he was not.
Oh well.
He was a UDFA. There you go. Hopefully Mizzou has some more draftees sometime soon. Dirty Birds. Let's do Kenny's Dirty Bird. Peyton, you might have more thoughts on this. I did see a picture of this. Kenny's going with Don Mattingly. Mattingly, sorry. Who I know. I don't know what team he's the most known for. I have heard of Don Mattingly, but I did see this photo.
Manager.
Yeah. He picked it because Mattingly has I guess he has a beard and it looks like it's very painted on, which if you look at the photo, I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, Don Mattingly, player for the Yankees, manager for the Dodgers and Marlins. Now he's the bench coach for the Blue Jays, hence the bird. He just has a pretty crappy looking mustache beard combo.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It looks fake.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good on him. I will say that much. But yeah.
What's yours?
My dirty bird of the week is Barry Odom. I know Barry Odom has been on Dirty Bird before. We have to find elaborate connections. My connection is when he was the Arkansas DC, he interviewed for the Tulsa head coaching job. This was prior to him taking the UNLV head coaching job. The Tulsa head coaching job instead went to Kevin Wilson Jr., who was at the time the OC at Ohio State. Kevin Wilson Jr. at one time from 1990 to 1998 was on the Miami, Ohio Red Hawks coaching staff. I hope they were the Red Hawks back then because I know they were something else before. But they're the Red Hawks now. So I'm going to say that counts.
Good Lord.
And Barry Odom is my dirty bird because, and this is tweeted from Brett McMurphy on X, formerly known as Twitter, "Buckle up, Barry!" 2 exclamation points. UNLV coach Barry Odom will celebrate the first day of his program's spring practice by riding a live bull. the unique event of
Oh,
Horns and Helmets will take place Saturday, March 2nd, so this coming Saturday, at the South Point Hotel. Barry Odom is going to ride a bull, folks. That is amazing. Barry Odom, he's done good things at UNLV. It's just so weird because he was so vanilla at Mizzou. Like, you just can't really picture him doing something like that, but he's doing it.
yeah, he's gotten he's gotten more comfortable. He's like beefing with people on Twitter, and
Yep.
now he's riding a bull. This seems very risky, and I think Eli Drinkwitz should one up it and ride a tiger into Mizzou spring practice. See how that goes.
I think that's a little bit out of the question. Like, he could ride Truman.
Sure. Take a photo on the bronze one that everyone does for graduation, at least. Yeah, that is wild, though. I mean, if that, like, do you have to get like trained for that? Like, they don't just let anybody ride.
I don't know,
bull.
dude, but like
That's like
Barry
a sport.
Odom is sitting on top of a giant bull, and it's gonna buck him off probably in about half a second.
Yeah,
So, good luck, Barry.
Yes. Good luck, Barry. That's great.
How much
That's
money would you need to be paid to ride a bull? Like, no training.
a
You get no
lot.
training. They're just like, you're going on that bull and you're going to get fucked off, potentially throw out your back, maybe catch a hoof to the face that sends you to the hospital. I think I'd take like $10 and a half-eaten hot dog.
Yeah. I think I'd need at least 50,000, maybe not six figures.
$50K to ride a bull? I don't believe you, Nolan. I think if someone came up and said, $500 cash, do you get on that bull?
Ooh,
And you don't have to ride. I'm telling you, you would say yes to that.
Maybe.
$500 and the beers
I
at
guess
understudy are $2 forever.
Oh, well, I won't.
Yeah.
You can throw the $500 out of the window. I guess it's worse than like, have you ever seen like a rodeo clown? Like, they just like stand there and the bull just like hits them. Like, they're supposed to dodge it. I guess that's almost worse.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's way worse.
Yeah. All right. I'll take 500. We'll do it.
Yeah.
My
I got
dirty
you down
bird.
from. See, Nolan, you need to be
Negotiated me
more
down.
assertive though, because you went from I would need at least $50,000 to me saying if you saw 5 Benjamins in someone's hand,
guess-
you'd say yes, and then you immediately caved.
No. I guess now that I think about it, I'd need enough to pay. Like, if it is a hoof to the face, I'd need like enough for the medical bills. So maybe like a couple thousand, like 10, maybe 10 grand to pay for the.
Okay,
pay
yeah,
for the
I would
hospital.
say. Well, let's say they cover whatever the medical bills are. I would
And you get
say
a bonus.
Yeah, you get the bonus.
Okay. Sure.
$500 is what it would take for you. It'd take like
Sure.
$10 on a hot dog. Okay.
My dirty bird of the week is going to the action of court storming in college basketball. Bird connection. There have been bird teams whose fans have stormed the court before. Peyton, this is the talk of the college basketball world. Once again, we've had a lot of incidents this season with court storming. There was the Caitlin Clark thing where she ran into an Ohio State fan. And now on Saturday, if you haven't seen the video, Wake Forest, who beat Duke on Saturday, stormed the court, and Duke star forward Kyle Filipowski got run into by a couple students and got hurt. He had to be helped off the floor. And now everyone, Peyton, is calling for an end to court storming. I read a big, long ESPN article about it. I kind of see like both sides. Like, I love that. I've never gotten to court storm before. I always wanted to. I'm still bitter that Mizzou didn't beat Auburn when Auburn was #1 in the country, and we could have stormed the court then. But I do kind of get it from a player safety perspective. I don't know. Do you think they should? Do you think they should stop court storming?
I feel like there's a very large gray area between we need to not do anything and we need to ban court storming forever. Like, why don't we just like have event staff be actually prepared for this stuff? Like, instead of letting Wake Forest fans rush on the court with 0.1 seconds remaining, like before the clock even hits 0, event staff's got to be out there like ready to go. Like, and then like once the clock hits 0, it feels like very easy to just let the players get to the side, get the event staff to form like a chain around them, like has been done in the past, and then they can storm the court. I don't really feel like we need to go full throttle into ban court storming forever. I feel like that's a bit. I don't think we need to do either I don't think we should really do either or. Like, we should meet in the middle, just have event staffs be ready for this. Don't let the fans go onto the court the second the clock hits 0. Give it a few seconds. Make sure the players are off. Then you can go. I think that's a very easy fix to this whole debacle.
Yeah, I think it's like my takeaway when I read the ESPN article about it was like there just needs to be like every college needs to have the same set of rules. Like, you know, there's a lot of schools that don't even have any sort of precaution or measure in place to like prevent or to like help with player safety and getting all of the guys off of the court before everyone's on it. So like, yeah, there needs to be like I think it just needs to be like uniform rules, like you said, where like every school has the same protocol. We do this and we wait and we get, you know, everything set up the right way to get the players off the court, and then we let everyone on. But yeah, some schools just don't. Like some just have like fines. Like I know the SEC has fines, and other schools don't have anything. Other schools try not to allow it at all. There's not like any uniform thing. I feel like you just need to make it like some sort of uniform policy to protect these players. But it's on the hot seat, court storming, just like Dennis Gates. Just kidding. Well, no, I'm not. But yeah, court storming could go away. That would be sad. But I never got to do it. So I guess at this point, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I'm out of college now. I wouldn't storm the court if I went back to the Mizzou game.
Yeah, non-students should not storm the court.
Yeah, if you're a grown adult, you stay in the stands, man. Like,
well, except for the Detroit Mercy person. I don't know how old they.
Yeah, that was
but
whatever. I don't care. You're that I don't know. That was whatever. I don't.
That was a tweet. That was a tweet I saw. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, if you're a grown adult going to a big high major basketball game and an upset happens, and the students rush the court, you do not get to join them.
Yeah, no, that's a student thing. That was a tweet I saw. It was someone posted the Detroit Mercy video, and I said like, that's the perfect solution. You pick one representative, and they're the only one that can storm the court. And then it just said nobody got hurt here, and it was just the photo of one guy celebrating on the Detroit Mercy logo. They have more conference wins than Mizzou does, by the way.
Yeah, they sure do.
It's a fact. But
doesn't DePaul,
court storming. Huh?
Or is DePaul winless in Big East?
No, it is DePaul, Cal Poly, Mississippi Valley State, and Pacific are the schools along with Mizzou. I was doing all this research earlier today because I was bored. All right, next.
Uh-oh.
What time is it?
What time is it, Norton? What time is it, Norton?
It's 5 o'clock. At number 5, going to college basketball, and in the wise words of ASAP Ferg, I'm out in Boca Raton. I'm sipping Memphis Patron. I got Dusty May on the phone. Only he ain't answering the call.
Oh!
Atlantic losing.
Oh, bonus Dirty Bird.
Play. Could their tournament hopes be in jeopardy? Final Four, more like Final Fraud. Dusty May.
You. Final Four, we're going to number 4 in the fraud rankings. We got the Detroit Tigers. They led a Little League home run today in just like the second spring training game. Hey, you know who hit it? The Tampa Bay Rays. Cam Misner, M-I-Z, Cam Misner with a Little League inside the park home run.
Congrats to that. They need to hit Little League homers to do anything. Number 3 on the fraud rankings. We're going to Peyton Manning's favorite place, Omaha.
Another bird!
Omaha, where, pardon my take, but I think Greg McDermott might be doing too many podcast appearances and not focusing enough on basketball and the Red Storm that was developing out east. Former future Mizzou coach Rick Pitino's players didn't look too slow on Sunday, taking down the frauds of the Midwest that somehow play in the Big East. Creighton, you literally just beat UConn, and now you go and lose to the Red Storm.
No easy nights in the Big East.
Pitino called his players slow. Fraud.
Alabama basketball is up at number 2. The Crimson Tide, folks. Crimson Tide. They gave up a bazillion points to the up-and-down Wildcats. Billy Dillingham and the others on Kentucky. Aaron Bradshaw is there as well.
Justin Edwards.
Goodness gracious, there were more points in this game than in every Iowa football game this year combined. It was unbelievable. I made that stat up, but it's definitely true. Nate Oates, you big fat fraud. Stop recruiting people that keep getting into trouble. Moving on to number one in the fraud alert. We're moving from college basketball into the MLB uniform realm because the MLB Fanatics, Nike, whoever it is, big fabric creators have made see-through pants. Yeah, Big Fabric has made see-through pants to distract you from the fact that the jerseys look just terrible. I'm on to you, MLB. I'm not going to forget the fact that the jerseys look terrible, too. They both stink, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Frauds.
There we go. Frauds.
That's the fraud segment. Fun fact about that Alabama game, the 117 points they gave up to Kentucky is the third most a team has scored against Alabama in school history. There's a fact for you.
History being made by the Crimson Tide.
Indeed. Defense
stop
was I was like, that game was so captivating to watch for like a multitude of reasons. It was just like funny. Like there was so much scoring, no defense. It was pretty funny. Peyton, do you want to do the ratio?
Sure. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. I'm gonna say this one in hopes that you get it. I don't get it. So
you're not doing the ratio.
How do you hire a horse?
How do you hire a horse? We're just ignoring the ratio of the week, by the way. I'll read it after the joke. You hire a horse. I don't know. Put something with a horseshoe. I have no idea.
Put up a ladder? Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense.
Wait.
Like that's literally you're meaning hire the horse.
I think that's what it means.
Why do you got to use a horse for that?
I don't know.
Why do they use a? You could use anything.
Wait. How is the answer worded? Does it say put it up a ladder? Is that what it says?
Put up a ladder.
Put up a ladder. Yeah, it's probably how you become higher than a horse. That's a weird one.
How do you hire like HIRE?
Photocopy was not in her bag with that one.
HIRE. How do you hire a horse? Put up a ladder? Like I get it. Like it's supposed to be a play on words, but is the only joke that the horse is just higher up than you? You could use anything for that joke. I could use how do you hire a fossilized salamander collection? You put up a ladder. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Trying to look up an explanation.
If anybody that's watching this, like, please, I would love to know what it means.
The one I'm looking at, I looked it up and it says the other version of that joke is how do you hire a horse? Stand it on 4 bricks. The humor seems to come from the homophones. Higher and higher.
Only joke is just that it's standing higher. Why does it have to be a horse?
I don't know. Is this just a bad joke? It does not respect the grammatical structure of the phrase, or is there another meaning? This is like a Reddit thread about this joke.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's just a crappy joke.
That's a dud. Kenny also Photocopy was not in her bag. Kenny also put a ratio in for this week, by the way. This comes from Fanatics on X. What? Did we already say this one?
Yeah. We just went through like a whole debate about it.
What?
How do you hire a horse?
What?
The ratio. We just went through the ratio. How do you hire a horse?
Okay. That joke should get ratioed if you tweet it. Kenny sent this one. It was Fanatics, the sports clothing company. They tweeted on February 15th a 40-piece for Caitlin, as in Caitlin Clark with like the freeze emoji. 260 replies, 20 likes. The top reply comes from I don't want to read that Twitter handle. It's too long. Worst thing to happen to sports, Fanatics should go bankrupt. Terrible products. That got 198 likes. Fanatics replied, I would love to hear more about your experience. Please DM us. And then then the person replied, Your products are shit quality and look ugly and fake. Your whole business model is offensive to the regular consumer. It's obvious you are actively trying to make the least quality product possible and hoping people will still buy it because it's licensed. Shame on you. Yeah, this is bad. People do
I
not like
the
fanatics.
half-hearted attempt at hiding the replies and then just giving up.
Yeah.
Letting people reply. So, good job.
Yeah,
Scam
tough for
company.
Fnatic. Bad company. They're doing a bad job. All right. With that, we'll end the show. Kenny will be back with two of us on Friday. Don't tell him that joke beforehand. Let's see what he thinks about that.
He's probably going to listen to the episode beforehand, though.
Oh, that's true.
He likes to do that.
Yeah. Well, all right. I have one for him that we'll get back. But until then, we will probably not recap another Mizzou men's basketball win, but they play Florida, so we'll talk about that. Any AD news that comes down the pipeline, and anything else to dive into. Softball, winning more games, hopefully. But until that time, thanks to BetOnline for sponsoring the show. We will see you guys on Friday.